Righto. So we're going to talk about AllStar and what it is. Well, what it isn't. Well, it is. Well, it sort of is. It's yes, it is. It's another digital amateur radio type thing, but rest assured, you don't need to be too confused about it. But well, let's see at the end of the night. Righto. So a normal repeater type operation, repeater at height, signals. Can you see my cursor, folks?
Yep.
Righto. So yeah, signal received at the repeater. Repeater transmits to a larger area, retransmits at a greater distance. We're all pretty used to that. And that's what the, up until 3 days ago when we turned the repeater off because of the licensing problem, that's what the PARG 2-meter repeater did. So what AllStar does, we hope, with Martin and my fingers crossed, is that it will enhance what that repeater does. So instead of just having a single repeater, what AllStar will do is connect a whole bunch of repeaters together through the internet. So there is a network of repeaters and nodes, I guess, around Western Australia that are all linked together for voice, and many of them are connected to repeaters. And what happens is people in different parts, Perth, Albany, all over the place. I'll give you the details. when they fire up on the repeater, everybody hears them. Now, you might think that might be chaos, but so far it seems to work pretty well. And what you'll hear on the AllStar West Australian network is through the day a bunch of nice conversations, and of course you can all join in through the repeater. Anyway, now this is, or was, as of 8:29 a.m. Eastern time yesterday morning. This was all of the nodes connected together in Western Australia. You can't see those, but I will circle. This is VK6RMH, the Mandurah node here. This other one over here in blue, that's mine. And we are connected together, but we're also connected to all of these other people. Righto, so zoom in a little bit closer. You'll see, as I said, here's the Mandurah node. It's connected to a hub. What's that? It's just a thing that connects people together. And hanging off that hub, there is, and I'll explain this in a minute, but there's a hotspot in Collie. There is a hotspot in Manjimup. There's a repeater at Mount Barker. There's a hotspot at Busselton. There is a private node working as a hotspot in Port Hedland. There is a hotspot at Katanning. There is, no, that's us. There is a RMJ, that's a repeater at Manjimup. There is a private node at Mayanup, and so it goes on. There's one in New Zealand over there. RAV at Hoddywell, 6ZE private node, there's one in Kununurra, and so it goes on. You can see all of these nodes together.
Sorry, Mark, just on that,
yep.
If I can just interrupt, is COR on that bubble chart you've got up there at the moment? Because that should be on here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In fact, CRO, there it is.
Yep.
Right. So, in fact, I will to give this a test a little later, I'll actually connect to VK6CRO in Carnarvon through the Southern Electronics, because it's one of the it's connected to the Southern Electronics Group remote up there, and I should be able to talk to you maybe. So you can see there's a whole bunch of these nodes around Western Australia, all connected together. So what are these nodes? Some of them are repeaters. Some of them are just privately owned nodes. Some of them are things called hotspots, and some of them are hubs. The hubs, as I say, computer servers that just link the systems together. Hotspots, well, a node is a Raspberry Pi with a little modification, a modification. Let me show you what the modification looks like. There you go. Where's my camera? Up there. A little doohickey that plugs into a USB, and with some software, you turn it into a node. You can connect speaker microphone to it if you want, or what a lot of people do is they turn them into a hotspot. What's a hotspot? They have a node. They buy one of these, which is a Baofeng BF888.
We can't see that, Mark.
Yeah, we're only seeing the original slide, Mark.
We're seeing the bubble map.
Of course you are. I knew that.
Just testing.
I knew that. Righto. So it's a UHF handheld. It costs delivered. I bought two of them for less than $40 delivered. Just a cheap Chinese handheld. So what you can very easily do is pull those apart, turn them into a transmitter and receiver link that turns your node into a hotspot. And what that means is that you can walk around your property and talk through this system.
Mark, are we supposed to be seeing anything more than bubble chart?
No, bubble chart. Bubble chart. I guess I'm talking about the stuff over on the right. But thanks, Martin. Good point. So repeaters, nodes, hotspots, and hubs. Righto. So for the normal operation of AllStar, about 90% of the users will just use AllStar the same as a normal repeater. You push the button, you go to transmit. Your signal will go out over the repeater as normal, but now your signal will also go out to all of these other nodes. What that means is here in Mandurah, instead of hearing either nobody or Martin once a day giving his test call in the morning when he does his taxi of the grandkids to school, you'll actually hear more people, and the traffic starts at about 6 o'clock in the morning. I have a chat with the guru behind most of this gear, Rob 6LD, that Bruce mentioned before. He goes to work about 6 o'clock, and I have a chat with him. And I also talk to Max 6FN down in Manjimup, and our friend Gary VK6GAL over in Melbourne, Florida, all coming in through this system. And so that means everybody will actually start hearing things on the repeater. Righto. Easy as pie. And yes, it is a digital system, but don't fret. You don't need to get wrapped around the axle about it. From most people's perspective, it just works. They used to say that about apples. Righto. Now, to see if the AllStar system is connected to the repeater, let's assume we have a repeater. You press the push to talk switch on your radio, transmit your call sign using the keypad, if you have one. Press *81 and release the push to talk, and the node will respond with the time.
I will do that.
Let's do that. Thanks, Martin. we couldn't quite hear that, but it sounded like it was giving the time. Is that right, Mark?
The weather as well. Yeah, I could hear very faintly. Yeah, it's very stretchy on receive from inside here.
We did hear the time.
Righto, you did hear the time. Okay. Now you could also, in fact, let's do this, Martin. So press to talk, give your call sign, then press star A9, and then just give a few words, and it'll parrot back. Hopefully, I haven't tested this. We're going to try it.
Is that 89?
No, A9, Alpha 9.
Alpha 9.
Star.
You got a keyboard.
Star Alpha 9.
Star.
VK6 Mike Juliet testing.
Okay, let's do it again. Do exactly the same, except when you've pressed the star A9, say a few words. Give your call sign again.
6 Mike Juliet testing.
Yes.
That sounds just like me. In the crackle.
Same as the organic test station. Sounds like the same thing.
Yeah, that one's called a parrot. It's on the other side of the world somewhere, and it says, "Oh, you want to test your thing," so it just sends your audio back. Righto. So you can either test it with a star 81 or a star A9. The star 81 gives you the time. Star A9 repeats your audio, so you can actually test your audio. Righto. Any questions so far?
Mark, I guess the obvious, if all these repeaters are linked,
yep,
only one person can put out a call and establish at a time over a whole bunch of repeaters.
Yep, that's right. You would think
ties up a whole of gear, potentially.
Yeah, but the gear's not getting used otherwise.
Okay.
Exactly. That's the point, Paul, that all around Western Australia, most of the time, these repeaters are just idle.
No,
it just blows me away.
Mark, but follow on the rare occasion that we do a local club competition or similar, we presume we disconnect.
We can disconnect.
We can, and I'll show you that in a sec, Paul. But yes, it's another star code to disconnect. So then you're on so that's easy. Interestingly, you think eastern states places, you would think that the repeaters are busy, and certainly in the capital cities, yes, they are. Where I live in country New South Wales, there is a similar network of repeaters, goes out from Wagga out to Griffith and sort of all around southern New South Wales. So a whole bunch of repeaters connected. They don't use AllStar, they use the traditional link, UHF links, the old way of doing it. And you would think that would be chaos. But again, the repeaters are actually quiet most of the day. And then you just hear people, driving around occasionally. So, yeah, it's amazing how things have changed with amateur radio.
What I am hearing from the few days that I've been listening in is people in very distant, remote towns from each other are having regular skeds. We've got Mal 6 BMM up in Carnarvon, who's chatting back to friends here and in Manjimup up in Albany, as if they're, next door. And the audio, you can't tell with the scratchiness here, but this is 439.175 simplex. If you monitor this channel, most of you should be able to hear me quite well around town. Bruce can hear me directly on UHF. Then you'll hear how the audio is just crystal clear. It's I heard somebody saying it's much better than D-Star. Now I've never tried D-Star, but that's what I heard.
In all the digital worlds.
Yeah.
Mark, can I just make the point that people concerned about, towing up resources, etc., and protocols. The hard AllStar Node is tied into the UK hub several hours a day.
Right.
And you've got all the people throughout the UK, and it's just, there's guys like Andy HQ up in Rolleystone's got a node, and he's talking to people in the UK every afternoon. And if he's not on and he's got some health issues, and if he's not on for a couple of days, you hear so-and-so, people from the UK coming on saying, "Where's Andy?" Or somebody will come up and they'll say, "Oh, there's a bloody taxi driver from Lincolnshire or wherever." So they're well known sort of around the track. So. And you can also link in the Wing network in the US and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So this is just a little bit of a big picture.
Yeah. It's
and it all just works.
Yeah,
it seems to be very collegiate, and from the, I guess I've been listening in for about 6 months, and I'm convinced that it'll be a good thing for Mandurah. So there we go. Right, I'm going to play just a short video that Martin took yesterday, just of a couple of people having a QSO through the system. So I'll stop sharing this, and I'll start sharing a video. Hopefully, all things being equal.
It's a terrible video. It's just somebody talking into a headset.
Yeah.
Audio? Can't hear it.
Cannot hear it?
No.
Very low.
Jimmy, can
Tell me where you are.
On the actual player itself.
I think it was up to full ball anyway. Yeah, it's up full ball.
That's from Mobile Curtin University. Mobile Curtin. Oh, good. Yeah, I used to write down. I used to work.
Your lip read. It's in the lips.
Yes, it was. Look. Hardly any audio, Mark.
Righto.
Nice picture, though.
Can you do it again, and have you got the audio flat out?
Yes. Yeah. The video audio is flat out.
The player audio?
It was.
I'm just looking on the mixer here. Yeah, the level is. I might be able to bring it up a little bit. Yeah. Anyway. In fact, let's move on. It's just a QSO, just as an example of how good it sounds. But
if you could get more audio, we'd like to hear it, because we just heard bits and pieces of pixelated sounds.
Pixelated sounds.
You like that? I like that one.
That's a bit of a
I'll
worry.
give you that one.
It's a new one.
Pixelated sounds. Righto, stand
I
by.
reckon QSO, I'd call it.
Because this is our only chance to hear it half decently.
I have to say, it's just a local repeater.
If the repeater's in this building, if we had it on, we'd be doing it through the repeater.
You mustn't turn it on.
Good internet connection.
We have fiber to the building. So.
Be someone.
Here we go.
Here we go. Take two.
Righto, let's try that again.
Very excited.
I'm excited.
Hey, all right, I've got myself a new green. And you tell me where you are. I want to first. I don't know where you are. I just wondered if the link is linked in there, over.
This is not very clear, guys.
That's from Mobile Curtin University.
There we go.
Better, Mark.
Sorry, Martin, was that? Can you hear that?
I said it's better.
At this end, Mark, it's sounding like DMR.
Not bad, eh?
That bad.
Righto. How about we can the
Move on.
Right.
and the video? Never mind.
Right.
Worth a try. Righto. On. What were we doing? We were talking about AllStar, weren't we?
Yes.
Mark, it's fair to say it's as good as talking on your local repeater. Is that
Yeah.
a fair comment?
Yeah.
If you had one, sorry. Sorry.
Cruel.
I shouldn't mean it like that, but just
Who is that man? Let me just. I've got to turn my volume down here. I'm being blasted out. Righto. Here we go. Now, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
That's good. Oh,
Yes.
now I can't hear you. Why not?
just like a local repeater. We can
Ah,
hear
yeah,
you.
very good. On. Righto. So just some things to be aware of. Leave a slightly longer break between overs. And the reason for that is not all repeater squelch tails. So when you let the button go and the repeater hangs for a half a second or whatever, not all those tails are the same length. So all around the state, repeaters might take a different length of time to drop out. So just because it drops out instantly with you, it doesn't mean that that's the case elsewhere. So often people will find that their repeater times out because whoever's transmitting hasn't allowed time for all the repeater tails to drop out. And also repeaters decide to identify when they want to identify. If all repeaters were connected to AllStar nodes and the AllStar nodes did the identifying, we could make them all the same. That'd be very nice. But anyway, just be aware that sometimes a system will time out because it decides to ident. Righto, you'll hear something called a courtesy tone. That is, when you let the button go, you might hear a little something that sounds like beep boop, something like that. Now, I haven't sorted out what all the courtesy tones do, and we can vary what they do and all that sort of thing. But generally, if you're connected to another node, if your node is connected to another node, it's funny, what you guys can't see, I'm gesticulating away here, waving my arms. The guys on Zoom, they can see that I'm waving my arms around, but the rest of you can't. Anyway, I'm having a great time waving my arms around. Those courtesy tones, you'll hear them. If you don't hear them, it probably means you're not connected. Be aware, there's a wide audience, not only around Western Australia. There is very likely to be people in other countries listening in, because anybody can connect to any of these nodes from their own AllStar node, for instance, or could connect, like Bruce was saying, the HARG link to the UK. Well, we could link to that temporarily as well, and then we're all sharing. So who knows who's listening? So stations from the other countries. Now, the question that Paul brought up, and Jerry brought the same question up the other day. What happens if we want to take the repeater off the network because we're running an exercise, because there's an emergency, because the repeater's playing up, because there's a pirate on our repeater or something like that, and we just want to take it off? Anybody with a touch tone, what do they call them? DTMF pad on their phone, on their radio. Just key up *76 and it disconnects the node from the network and it's off. So there we go. Righto. Now those.
Can I just say something about *76? Some of the guys in the southwest don't particularly appreciate some of the QSOs that occur at certain times of the day in the city. So when that's going on, we just say drop it out with *76 and then reconnect afterwards.
In fact,
So that's the other part of it. Not only drop it out, but if you do drop out the network, remember to reset it and reset it to go back in.
yeah, Bruce, what you probably don't notice because you're in Perth, the system now does that automatically. So Saturday mornings,
Yep.
the VK6RLM repeater is disconnected from the rest of the network. So I think that's what you're referring to, and it's the same subject that we were talking about before. Yeah, the system disconnects the Perth repeater automatically on a Saturday morning, and Saturday afternoon it reconnects by itself. Righto. As I said, you can use AllStar, and you will use AllStar without doing anything, without needing to remember any codes or anything like that. But for more advanced operation, you can also control the node with some simple commands like this. So if you've connected to something and then you decide to disconnect, *10. If you decide to connect to another node, and I'll show you in a second how to find other nodes, *3 and the node number, and that connects you. If you want to see who you're connected to, and don't worry, it only tells you the next person you're connected to. It doesn't tell you all of the nodes that you're connected to, although you can. There is another way to do that, but we don't want to know that because your node will sit there for many minutes telling you which nodes it's connected to. It's very good like that, but you don't really want to do that. And Trish Riley, who is the commentator, who's the lady who you heard give the time, she probably gets tired of saying all those node numbers. But anyway, so if you want to disconnect a specific node, as Bruce was implying, you can take a particular node off the network, *71 and the node number. If you want to disconnect from everything, as I said, 76. If you've disconnected and want to reconnect, 77. If you want to get the time, *81. If you want it in 24 hours, *82. And if you want to do that parrot, which is what Martin demonstrated, so it talks back at you, it gives you your audio back, *A9. Or you can also connect to that node number, 40894, and it will parrot everything that you say. In fact, we'll just do a test of that in a minute.
Mark, the parroting, does that just go to the local node and back, or does it go throughout the network?
It goes throughout the network, and you know how I knew that? Do you know how I knew that?
You're obviously very smart.
No, I'm not. My node is under my bench here, and I heard you. So when you did it, it parroted to everybody. So yes, everybody hears you doing the parrot check.
Do they hear it twice?
Well, that's right. That's right. Righto. Now, as I said, to find out which node you are connected to, key up the transmitter, announce your call sign, and press *70. Do you want to try that, Martin?
So what am I doing?
Key up the transmitter, announce your call sign, *70.
You got a good seat.
Right.
VK6 Mike Juliet Mandra testing. *70.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that was good.
That went well.
Righto. No, didn't work.
Maybe it's too noisy.
Could be. Could be. But I'd be surprised. I think you're noise free into your place. But anyway, never mind.
There's so much cable. You can't get the antenna outside, can you?
Well, we could try moving it that way, but isn't my house is in that direction?
It's not really worth it, guys. We're
Let's get on with it.
know, we're just demonstrating. It's all good.
I'm getting a little
The bebop,
coming back.
Yep. Okay, another way of finding out what our node is connected to is to use the internet. So now I didn't know this, but our new advanced licensee, Graham, he told me about this. I didn't know that you could do this. Anyway, so if you go to that URL that's there, and you know, we'll obviously pass this information around. It comes up with this list that you can see on the screen. If you type in the filter call sign VK6RMH, it will come up with a line which says VK6RMH here. If you click on this word bubble, it'll bring up that bubble chart that I showed you before, and then you'll be able to see who is connected to what. As I said, well, except it'll be Mandurah in this case, that'll be blue, and it will show that you're connected to 42482, which is the Mount Barker hub. Righto. Now, if you're looking for another node, if you want to connect, if you want to disconnect from the network and you want to just connect straight to somebody on the other side of the world, your mate says he's got an AllStar node. Same. You use this. I can hear you, Martin. You use the you put the filter in here, you put the call sign in, and it'll tell you.
If I sit here, it's a lot clearer.
Righto. So I heard some temperature there.
Yeah.
You did?
Very good. Was that Murray Field?
Too soon.
Righto, on. So the node twice a day, and we can change this, of course. Twice a day, it'll tell you what the temperature is at Murray Field, and as that time announcement, it'll do that on the hour from 7 a.m. in the morning until 8 p.m. at night. I think I've got it set. And again, we can change it. You know, we can make it do it at 12 minutes past the hour if you want, but whatever.
There's somebody else out there doing beeps.
Oh, is there?
Yep.
Oh, that's a bit sad. Did they announce their call sign?
No.
I hope they should. Hope they do. Anyway, right. So as I said, if you wanted to connect to a particular node, just follow the instructions here. So key up the transmitter, announce your call sign, *76, which disconnects the node from everybody else, then *73 and the node number. And you're now talking to that node on the other side of the world or wherever it happens to be. When you've finished, *76 to disconnect all links, and then press *7342482, which is 42482 is that that node in Mount Barker, and every will be all connected up again. Now, Martin, do you want to give a demonstration of connecting to node 40894, the Parrot system again?
40894.
Or actually probably a more useful thing. How about I connect to Carnarvon and I'll talk to you from here. How about that?
Okay.
Righto, I'm just going to leave the meeting on this other computer. Okay. I'm going to change the microphone arrangements here too.
Everybody else that's on Zoom, if they've got a radio, tune it into 439.175 and you can hear this direct from my place. If most people.
So for a bit of visitors, the toilet's straight down the corridor. Sorry to Bruce and Liz.
Get this.
2 minutes off.
I can't hear you on Zoom.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'm back again. Can you hear me on Zoom, Mark?
Yes, now, but we
Right,
didn't
okay,
hear you,
yeah,
did
sorry,
not hear you on AllStar.
Yeah, I just had to disconnect my my microphone here. Right, I'm just bringing up the remote at Carnarvon. And you can't see this because it's on another computer.
Video wise.
I could, or I could, but you know, that would be just too confusing.
Marcus, your node a G7 RPG one, is it? Or did you build it yourself?
No. It's the Southern Electronics Group node at Carnarvon. Anyway, I'm on there now, so I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute on the screen, and I'll give you a call.
Connected to our node as well.
Okay.
I was just making fun of that. Now when they see how those two terms got really together.
VK6QI, VK6MJ. Yes, we have your Q5.
Pretty much some time.
Roger. Okay, yeah, we got you. And okay, we'll see you back on Zoom.
I talk to them quite regularly because they feel paid. I've got that in the car. Sometimes long I've been trying to yeah. Comes up and we'll have a chat and it's crystal clear. I go, well, it's a 7.146, 700. If we're down south, I'd get on for the same frequency. Yeah. It's the moment.
Righto, I'm back with you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Mike.
Excellent. Righto, let's continue. Okay, on. So, now, I don't know about you. If you're confused with the stars and the numbers and the nodes, and you get lost, well, yeah, it happens to us all. But don't worry, if you actually get lost and you you don't really know who's connected to what, just leave it, because the next morning the whole thing resets and reconnects to the Southwest net. So everybody's happy. But if you happen to hear that our node doesn't appear to be connected, you don't hear the courtesy tones when the carrier drops, for instance, you can't hear people chatting. You can at any time with your radio just type in that number there, which is *7343482, and that will connect back to the Southwest network. So again, *73 means connect, and 43482 happens to be the, actually it's 42482. I think I might have that wrong. It is 42482. I've actually put the wrong number in there. 42482 is the Southwest number. Anyway, by the time I put this on the PARG website, if we have one, I'll correct that. Righto. So once again,
Sorry, Mark, just on that, Peter VK6LB a couple of years ago did a one-page cheat sheet to AllStar with all the codes and that on it, and a few simple directions how to get on air with it.
Righto.
Not building the node, but just operation.
Yep. So who did that? Rob did?
Peter LB, Lehman Brother.
Oh yes, okay. Yeah.
I'll send a copy of that down to you guys down here, and you can put it up on the website when you get it going.
Thank you. That'd be great. Peter has attended one of our Zoom meetings in the past. So yeah. that'd be great. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Bruce. Once again, the Hills Amateur Radio Group is helping out. Fantastic. Thank you. So the bottom line is don't worry about the codes. If certainly play with them if you want to have a go, but just enjoy it. It'll just work. So bit of background information. So what's under the hood here? So the AllStar system is based on a commercial voice over internet thing. It's called Asterisk, and Asterisk has been adapted for amateur radio use. It was called AllStar Link, ASL. There is another version of it called Ham VoIP, VoIP, and you'll get different stories from different people. But anyway, this is as best I can get from Rob's understanding of how it all works. So the Ham VoIP allows you to build AllStar systems using Raspberry Pi computers, and the WA hubs all run on the Ham VoIP system. They all talk to each other, just different systems that do, I guess, do things in different ways. So what's happening at our repeater, for instance? The repeater is connected to a computer. It happens to be a Raspberry Pi. I'll show you a picture in a minute. And the Raspberry Pi runs this AllStar software, connects it to the internet, and you then appear on other repeaters via, it's managed by some servers, AllStar type servers that direct traffic, move the packets around. But all that goes on in the background. We don't have to worry about it. It just happens or doesn't. Now, one thing that we will do going forward, once we get the bugs ironed out, is look at plugging Echolink in. So at the moment, we use Echolink. We can have Echolink on our repeater. It's through a computer in Martin's shack, and that computer is on its last legs. So if we can use the AllStar to do that, so much the better. Righto. So the node itself, that's what it looks like. It's a little plastic box with some switches and dials and knobs and things. It now has a fan on the top. There's a long story there, but that's the box. You'll notice there's another one in the background there. That's my other Raspberry Pi with the USB thing plugged in. So that's what it looks like before you put it in a box, let's say. Back end, bunch of connectors. So power in, let's say carrier operated relay in, or carrier operated switch. So when the squelch opens on a radio, for instance, the line comes into here. Audio in, push to talk out, and audio out. Very simple. And a LAN connection. You can connect it via LAN or Wi-Fi, doesn't matter. At Martin's house, we're using LAN, but I did send a Wi-Fi modem over just in case we didn't get the LAN connection going. It would just fall over or fail over to the Wi-Fi modem. So it works on LAN or Wi-Fi. Inside the box, this thing is the Raspberry Pi. So, okay, let's guess at the size, Martin. It's about what, 2 inches long, 2.5 inches or something, and
cigarette packet.
yeah,
Bigger,
looks like you're
slightly
right.
bigger.
It looks like a cigarette packet. So
Is that a Raspberry Pi 3?
this one happens to be a Raspberry Pi 3, which isn't the latest, but I did this on purpose on advice from Rob 6LD. The Raspberry Pi 3s run cooler than the 4s. And seeing the idea is that this thing runs 24 hours a day. Yeah, it's a, Raspberry Pis are pretty hard to buy at the best of times, but I managed to track down a Raspberry Pi 3. So yeah.
There's also been some issues with moving to the later version. The Pi 4s, there was a delay in AllStar becoming available for them.
Right. Something to do with multiple audio cards or something, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhere.
Yeah, they weren't supporting it for when the Pi, I went and got a Pi 4 when they first came out, just to have one really. And yeah, but you couldn't put AllStar on it, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been mucking around with my Pi
3Bs, 3B plus.
3B plus. Actually, we're talking.
Yeah.
One to no system on my boat.
I think this is a 3B actually, not a 3B plus, but anyway, yep, all right. So so there you go. It's all in a little box. Looking the other way, this thing in the front is the USB. It's called a simple USB audio interface. Simple in the way it works, not simple to make. What you can't see here is there's some solder connections, would you believe, right onto the pins of that large-scale integrated chip. And you have to remove some surface mount devices, a couple of resistors and capacitor, and ask Terry how easy it is to deal with surface mount devices, eh, Terry?
Sticky tape or glue on a toothpick, you're right.
They got soldering on a pin 2 and 9.
I'm on the wrong side of 65 now, and I have some trouble with this. Anyway, I thought I'm going to shout myself a solder rework station. So that's a little thing with, blows hot air, and it blows it right onto the components, and you can unsolder components, surface mount components, and you can resolder them. That's great. I've bought 2 so far, and both of them have turned up as 110 volts. So. So that is
Mark, as an aside, when I did mine, I went through about 3 sound cobs, and I realised my shakes are far too much to get on to pin 2, etc. So I got Ray ZRW to come around, and he ended up dropping a capacitor on the floor that came off on it while I was trying to get it onto the AllStar chip itself. So we were around on the floor with magnifying glasses trying to find this little chip. We found it, and he got it back on. Give Ray his due.
Oh, dear. Yeah, well, I've had a lot of I've done 3 now, and 2, one of them has worked. One worked for 2 hours, and then died, and so it's not good. Anyway, I have this. What's that?
The good thing is they're only about $5 each.
Yeah, well, on this side of Australia a bit more, but 25. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They're very cheap, but a bit messy. Anyway, on. Another view and another view.
Those connectors, Mark, they're all RCA connectors.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, just RCAs. I just wanted something that was pretty universal, so that.
Well, it's not RF, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. That's right. Righto. So how we've connected it in. This thing on the right is our repeater. Connected to Martin's linking transceiver.
That's all Martin's house now, is it?
Yeah, that's right. No. The
repeater's still here.
Oh, Okay, it looks like a primary repeater, but it's not.
But the photograph was probably taken at my place.
Okay.
So, so Martin has a linking transceiver that just transmits on the input frequency and receives on the output frequency of the repeater, and allows the PARG mesh system to plug in and the echo link to plug in. So all we're doing, this is the theory anyway, is we've temporarily disconnected the mesh and echo link so as to not cause Martin and me any more confusion. And just with a simple audio lead plugs out of the back of this thing into the TNC data input connector on the back of the transceiver. So it's just a mini DIN type plug. And in theory, we were going to plug it in and it was just going to work. Well, guess what? It didn't. It didn't. And I won't try and explain it now, but repeater tails, the system doesn't like repeater tails. So if there is a tail on our repeater, so that repeater hangs on after you stop transmitting for half a second and then drops, that tail, of course, goes out over the system. And then if there's another one doing the same, it'll have a half-second tail at the end and it'll drop, but our node will hear that tail and they chase each other around. They lock up. So Martin and I have a bit of head scratching to do to work out how we're going to get around this problem. Not unsolvable, just inconvenient.
Well, one solution is to put the node here attached directly to the repeater.
That's right.
But the Woshin rigs that we're using don't have data input sockets. So it means we have to do another modification to the audio in and out.
What are you using for your rigs? What are they? Icons, tapes?
Woshins.
Okay.
With a mat. They're paired rigs with a special umbilical between the two. That's something to receive.
Righto. So we have a bit of thinking to do about that. Righto. So the picture, the video you saw before is what we're currently doing, which is, so this is the node here. This is Martin's linking transceiver. The audio cables do the connections at the back. Audio, push to talk and squelch, connected to his high gain antenna over here. Now, as we mentioned, our license has expired. We only discovered that it expired the other day. So Paul,
60 days ago.
60, yeah, but we only discovered it the other day. Paul raced around and turned the repeater off. So the repeater is off the air at the moment until we solve that particular problem. In the meantime, and by the way, Bruce has been trying. We can't just pay the money and get it back on. No, it's a repeater. We may actually have to pay somebody to do an analysis and tell us what frequency, anyway, we'll see. In the meantime, the node is running as a hotspot on 439.175 for everybody to test and use. So now, Martin, you said that Bruce can get in from his place to you, is that right?
We've worked UHF before.
Yeah.
Have you tried this at all?
No, I haven't yet, no.
Okay.
Should have no trouble.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Mark, it's fair to say that if somebody can't get in, they can always put their own node in. There's enough, tapes, icons, etc., commercial ones, former commercial ones floating around, if somebody lets it be known. And you just need the Pi and the sound fog.
Okay. Righto. So Bruce, you're saying you can buy these ready-made?
Yeah, G7RPG does. A few of our guys have got G7 RPGs,
Okay.
which he puts them together. They come out pre-encoded. You give him your IP address or whatever, or your Wi-Fi password, sorry, and he even pre-encodes that and they're sent out directly. They're based on the Barfin 888 with the Pi 3B Plus he was using and the sound file, all in a box similar to what you've got there. That must have been one of the neatest Seg ones I've seen, because normally Rob gets boxes from anywhere. They're all different shapes and sizes. That's why I thought a G7 RPG is very similar to that, only black. And you can have it as a radialist node, or you can just use it. To give you some idea, LB, VK6LB Pete, he lives right close to the Causeway and Canning Highway, and he's virtually got a dummy load on the back of his node, and he can work it all the way up through Vic Park on just a little handheld, one of those TYTs with only one of those very small integrated antennas on it. So, you'll get out, a couple of milliwatts you'll get out long, because what G7 RPG does, he bypasses the finals, takes the case off the 888 and embeds it in the box.
Yep.
By bypassing the finals, you get rid of heat too. You don't need the power because it's just around your property, really. Maybe a K, 2K.
Any idea of the price?
Little Aussie dollars, terrible. They cut $250 maybe.
Okay.
But pies have gone up quite a bit in price, so they've got
that's
stupid.
right. Yep.
If you can get them, but they've also gone stupid. So
that's the problem. You can't get them at the moment. But
yeah, I heard last night a guy in the US was saying they're up around $200 US over there.
Oh well, there you go.
Gone are the days. $70 pies.
That's right. Gone are the days. All right. Okay, that's all that I have to talk about, folks. Any questions?
Mark, in one sentence, it seems like a party line version of Echolink.
Yep.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is, without having to have a computer and without having to make individual connections, because it's just, well, the way it's been set up on the Southwest network here, it's just there and connected all the time. What you don't get, everybody who has a repeater or whatever connected to Echolink, you get people connecting, give a call, and then disconnecting, or maybe not even giving a call, just connecting, having a listen, and disconnecting. Well, they're still doing that using AllStar, but you don't hear them. You don't hear them connect because it's silent. It's just oh, there's another node connected, or there isn't another node connected. So yeah, we there are people listening, but we don't actually hear them connect and disconnect unless they give a call. For instance,
Mark, I know Echolink was created by a Canadian. Who created AllStar?
Controversy over that.
Oh.
I don't know, Paul.
Okay.
The history there was, Mark, is that a guy originally adapted the VoIP platform for amateur radio use. Then he died, and then amongst the group there was a bit of a split. That's why we've got the two lots of or two different versions of software. And there's disputed claims over ownership of the intellectual property. So
very familiar, actually.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So anyway, that's the background why there's two different platforms. But over here we use AllStar Link.
There's no cost to use it, of course.
No,
that's right.
Product. Yep.
And just jumping on HF, you get there and somebody will set up like a net, and everybody takes their turn going. It works exactly the same. That's what struck me. I thought it's going to go on the paper, it's going to be a nightmare. It's not. It just works like HF does. You know what I mean? Everybody's courteous and takes a turn.
The thing is that there's also interconnections in the various DMR systems, Grandmaster DMR, Fusion, etc. But you'll hear the difference in audio quality because they're digital end to end, whereas this is FM going into the nodes with AllStar. The other one, if you connect to the US, they get a bit upset with people identifying too often. I learnt that.
I was going to ask about call signs. Surely it's like all radio, you're supposed to identify yourself regularly.
Yeah,
Once every 2 minutes.
Yeah, once every 10 minutes. Is that if you're on WinLink, WinLink's a massive system in the US, and if you connect into WinLink, which you can do through AllStar, and you start getting your call sign out on every over, you'll soon get chatted.
Right.
Because being a shared resource, there's protocols that you learn. UK's okay.
So it's just too hectic, too many throwing calls being chucked in all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they get a bit tender about it.
Okay.
As I've learned.
Okay.
Just have it.
Speak quicker and get out.
But the reason is if it's AllStar, the audio quality is very good because it's FM going into the node being digitised using VoIP, which is what the NBN uses, similar platform. This has been modified, but they use voice over IP. And then it spits out at the other end back to FM. So that, and the quality is, unfortunately, this wasn't a good display of it tonight, good demonstration. It's a bit scratchy, but it's normally very, very good.
That's because we're lower than the road level here. So we're trying to beat
it's just metal blinds and what's in the walls, who knows?
Oh, yeah, the UBU too. I could have been outside.
That wasn't a dodgy antenna.
It's a good presentation, Mark.
Lightning.
A very good presentation, Mark. You covered the field well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Righto, my pleasure, and it's been a great fun project, and hopefully we'll have a repeater back on soon, and we'll solve the locking up problem, and it'll just work. But anyway, in the meantime, I would I guess the best thing what I ask is that people give it a try and have a bit of fun with it on 70 centimeters for the moment.
So we're through Martin's place at the moment, correct? Because the repeater's down.
Simplex, yeah.
Yep.
So does it go back to 2 meters when you get the repeater back, or does it stay on 7 cents?
Yeah, it'll come through the repeater. I'll just dial the repeater up on the link radio. At the moment, I've got it on UHF. I'll just change it to VHF repeater.
So that's it. Thank you.
So this frequency we're using, 439.175, is one of the standard hotspot frequencies that is used around the place.
If you got a
I can't get into it. I've tried, but that's just my location.
Yeah,
we've done this route before
on UHF.
On UHF, yeah.
If you do put your own node, you need reliable internet. Last 4 months, I've had reliable internet, so it's a waste of time,
Yeah.
You done all right with me to WinLink with using the beams.
It's you, yeah. But I just can't get into this area.
Yeah.
I can't get in Martin's place either.
And yet Bruce is big signal.
Yeah.
You might hit the collie hotspot in the beam.
Collie's on a domestic house. Peter LV is a former partner.
That goes there.
But it's up on top of one of the hills there.
I was on the far side of Ferguson Valley and I was still getting it with a handheld.
Yeah. It's a good location because it's on top of the hill. That's why we put it in Lisa's place.
What sort of coverage has he got there, Bruce?
Well, it's do you know the town centre of Collie, Mark?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, Collie's basically in a valley, and then you go up top of the hill. There's 2 hills, and it's up on top of the hill at Peter's former partner's place, Lisa's place, and it's just on a hockey stick at the side of the house with a vertical. Okay. And it just sits in a back sleep out, and
and it gets out everywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's a good location.
So how far were you how far were you from Collie, Graham, when you used it?
Well, I went through Ferguson Valley down to Donnybrook and then west out towards Bunbury, back up along the highway, and I was still getting it in pockets here and there. That was on 150 from memory. I was picking up and I could hear you guys in Rottnest.
Well, the Haag one's been heard out at the coast.
Yeah.
I'm up at Haag, so but that's running at, I think Rob bumped that up to 25 watts or 35 watts.
This one is running at 35. That's maximum.
Just depends if you're using a tone or an offset.
Yeah, no tone. It's normally it's 1, 2, 3. That's what's used for access tone.
Yeah. So for
the network's gone well. Rob has been just superb, and the amount of effort he's put in. LB's been the vocal proponent, saying get out there, get AllStar DMR shit, and Rob's been the one that's done the work putting it together through SEG. So. And a lot of us at HARG are also, or a number of us at HARG are also members of SEG, so we just sort of do, but all the licensing goes through SEG for Carnarvon, and Rob's got his place at Albany.
when you're sitting at the bottom of a ravine and you've got rapids going past, taking this out for lunch and what have you, picnic. I'm hot on this radio and I'm listening to someone coming through crystal clear. It's in Canada. I'm with someone else in the UK, and then I could hear Mark in the background chatting away and sitting. Can't complain with that. And it was all crystal clear. Go a few yards the other way, I lost the signal. Go a few yards this way, it's back again. So to me, it's like challenging when you're trying to chase skip. It's just challenging trying to chase that signal. Once you've got the spot, Lord's your oyster.
Well, Collie, within hours of putting it in, there was half a dozen people on it. There's, you know, we're all around town. We met with them and we went down and put it in, had lunch with them. And so that's got quite a bit of, we did tea that day.
Well, I heard your lighthouses on the air from Rottnest, from Cape Lewin, all coming through. So we're having chats afterwards, talking back to people through the AllStar on 2 metres, and of course I'm listening on 70 centimetres. I'm hearing it all coming through. Oh, this is great. They're talking about all the contacts that
Actually, the other good work Rob's put in is on the remote rigs as well. The one up at Carnarvon down Darwin at his base. And he's turning the beam around, I think October, when he goes down to Point East on 2 metres and that. So, yeah. They went up to Carnarvon at the end of August, put small gear in up there. Thanks, Mark. That was really good.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
My pleasure. And Bruce, thank you very much for coming down. It's great.
I'm only over at 7 time at the moment, so it's not that
Before
far.
we all go, can I remind everyone that the Women League practice session is on again tomorrow night?